Well, we're all getting ready for Shabbat. That's tonight. For Passover, that's Monday. And then it's for the week after that. We have a Seder at home, of course. And then on the second night, we're doing something crazy, which is hosting a community Seder. Why crazy? Because the numbers are growing and growing. We've never had one this large, which is exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing so many of you here with us in the sanctuary for what promises to be a meaningful and beautiful and hopefully delicious Passover Seder experience. One of the questions that I think I'm stuck with, that maybe you're stuck with, or at least grappling with, is what's more relevant? Is it this or is it this? I don't mean the picture of my granddaughter. I mean the news, the constant input that we get from all the sources that are saying this and that are happening in the world right now. And this that says something entirely different, which is this is what happened and that continues to happen. That's the meaning of myth. It's not something, a story that isn't true. It's in a wisdom tradition, a story that was true and in the human history continues to be true. It tells us something about what it is to be human. Whereas what we find here might tell us what certain human beings are doing in a certain moment. In my phone, I'm constantly reminded of the war. I'm reminded of people still in captivity now, about 190 days, just unimaginable, that number and that consideration of those human lives. And I'm reminded of an enduring war that we sometimes put in the background as if it doesn't exist anymore, but is still just as real to the people who are suffering the war in Ukraine. And I'm aware of a brewing war, which is a war in this country between people left and right who are ready to raise fists in acrimony and anger to tear themselves primarily and each other apart in the next year or so as we approach an election. And maybe the story of Passover has so much more to teach us that is more enduring and ultimately more edifying, more strengthening to who we are and how we're going to be in this world that contains what the world honestly has always contained. Acrimony, rancor, meaning anger and discord and suffering and people who are oppressed and people who oppress. All of these different archetypes, these different parts of humanity that exist not only out there, but honestly, if we're focused, if we're thoughtful and reflective, we realize they or their seeds, their potential exist within each one of us as well. So the matzah takes on new meaning. And the sweet wine takes on new meaning. And taking from the cup of wine with our pinky finger, perhaps, if that's your tradition, some of that sweetness and pouring it onto the plate to say, let me diminish my sweetness to recognize the suffering that existed in order for me to become free. Those who in this time of challenge and rancor, as I say, anger and discord are suffering in ways that, thank God, I am not, and God willing, will never know. Well, I hope to see you soon. I hope to talk to you. I've had fantastic conversations with so many of you recently and often. And I hope that this Passover is beautiful. People sometimes ask, they haven't asked me yet, but people typically ask about a Seder. Is it short? Is it long? I would suggest it's entirely the wrong question to be asking. Ask a different question. Will it be meaningful? I hope it's meaningful and therefore beautiful and worthy of your precious time.